No, unfortunately. But it seems that the father, that would be
Your great-grandfather.
was in the army in India.
Yes.
And we thought he was married to an Indian woman of some standing. She died when the child was, they had a child. She was very young. And he was Colonel Murray Holmes. That was his name, the grandfather's name. His friend was a Major Penrice, and he was coming to England. So the arrangement was that he would bring the child to England. She would be his ward. And she was brought up, I've traced all this.
Oh, wonderful.
She was brought up in Penrice Castle in the Gower Peninsula. And I always knew that my great-grandmother was in a castle, but I have traced this. She was brought up in Penrice Castle in the Gower Peninsula. But the castle is now ruined. But I was given the name of the people who lived in the cottage on the estate, but I didn't contact them.
You're talking about your great-grandfather's wife's child.
That's right. Yes. And through the military connection, she must have met the Johnson that she eventually married, because he was in the army, but his family were farmers in Cumberland.
We're still talking about the daughter.
We're still talking, yes.
Married.
Yes, she married a Johnson who was in the army, but he had come from a farming family in Cumberland.
But they were the same name.
No. She was a Holmes.
Ah.
Her father was Colonel Murray Holmes.
What was the name of your great-grandfather?
Colonel Murray Holmes.
Sorry, I'm getting
He
lost.
was the one in India.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, he was the one in India.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yes. And it was this child that he asked his friend, Major Penrice, to bring over. And she was brought up, as I say, in Wales. She married this Johnson, who was in the army. I don't know what rank. And I learned that he came from a farming family in Cumberland. But I feel that there must have been a considerable amount of money, because his father...
Murray Holmes?
No, his father was a Johnson.
Oh, sorry,
Yes,
yes.
his father was a Johnson.
Yes.
She married a Johnson.
Yes.
As I say, he must have had a reasonable education. He was the inspector of mails on the... There was a family of them.
It's another form of civil servant, I suppose.
Yes, oh yes.
I mean, India was riddled with it.
Yes.
We started.
But this is over here. I mean, yes. This is over here.
Farming family.
The Indian piece has. We've lost all track of that. Yes. Michael tried to get it through the regimental records.
Yes.
But he traced the Major Penrice, but for some unknown reason, I don't know how it was, but they couldn't find the Holmes, or there were several Holmes, and they couldn't pick out which one it was. But apart from that, as Michael said, in those days, no way, with the position that he held, no way would he have been allowed to have married an Indian woman, no matter what her status.
That's right. Yes.
So there's a bit of that. But as I say, the child was brought over, and I have a dim recollection of her visiting us, this austere lady, in Shandus Road. Now, I went to Shandus Road when I was 3.
Yes.
And it was in the very early days, and she came in a carriage and pair. And I remember seeing her, but anything more than that, I don't know.
That was the home before Randall Road.
That's right, yes.
Was it far from there?
Only about 5 minutes. Yes. So, as I say, Michael did try to trace it all, and I've got what little record I have. I wrote to the Daily Mirror, and it was them that found out about Penrice Castle and gave me the name of the people who lived in what they called the pigeon cottage on the estate. So I'd love to go to Gower Peninsula,
Yes.
but I've left it a bit too late, really. But that was the connection. But I always remember in my grandfather, his parents' house, there was always this painting of soldiers in there on horseback, you know, and looked very impressive.
Yeah.
So you reckon that although the Johnson that was the farming family, you reckon that they had money?
Well, I'm saying that because
They had a good education.
you see, his parents, now Dad was one of how many? There was himself, there was Annie, Emily, Cora, Ethel, George, and Jack.
Yes.
There were 7 of them.
7, yes.
Yeah.
Now, none of those girls worked,
No.
and they were always beautifully dressed. They always had their own house. So there must have been a certain amount of money.
Yes.
Somewhere
Yeah, and when you
around
think of all the dresses they used to wear in those
yes,
days,
that's right. Yes,
not like
yes.
they are now.
No. So, as I say, I feel that there must have been, but where it's all never came my way.
Well, that's fascinating.
Oh, but let's back to the business in hand. Yeah, that's a very good page.